Hello everybody, thanks for checking out this video here on G4G on YouTube. Today we're going to take a look at a new hack that is available in Marvel Avengers Alliance. I'm doing this video in a special way in which I can show you the cheat without providing access to the cheat itself. If I wanted to discuss this video with people, I would have to link them to the video and they would see down in the description links to the cheat and everything like that. I do not want to perpetuate cheating in this game, so in order for me to discuss this current cheat, what I'm going to be doing is videoing the video. Now I have blanked out the URL. Obviously you could still go ahead and search YouTube for like working Marvel Avengers, but that's on you. I am doing my part to discuss this with you guys, which I hope are legitimate players, talk about this cheat and discuss how insidious it is and compare it to the cheat prior to Season 31. So prior to Season 31, at the end of 30 and at the end of 29, everybody was complaining about the cheaters. 30 was bad. Napalm could not get out from under the deluge of tears about cheaters going on in Season 30. Everybody was noticing that their defense was taking attacks from cheaters, and while it is a double-edged sword in that when you face a cheater's defensive team, they are absolute garbage, you shouldn't have to lose the points in the first place. So yes, maybe you lost 15, 16 points when they attacked your defense, but if you then flip right back around and encounter their defense, they usually were only 4 slots, really crappy gear like laser pointers and, you know, just trash that they get from doing Chapter 1 missions and everything, so you get the points right back. You should have never had to have gone through it to begin with. What the cheat was people would get gotta go fast heroes, early turn order heroes, specifically Spitfire, and specifically Quicksilver and alternatively Spitfire. They would do one of those characters' AoEs as the very first action of combat. The trainer would be up at this point, or the hack would be up. The hack would monitor for that last damage value that went out. So let's say it was Quicksilver. Let's say Quicksilver AoE'd and did about 150 damage per AoE hit. The trainer looks in Chrome's memory footprint, sees that 150 damage, and then you hex edit it and take that 150 damage and bump it up to 15 million. You let Quicksilver do a second turn of AoE, and in this era of not too many Hugin's Eyes anymore, Quicksilver was guaranteed triple overkilling the team with 15 million damage. So that's how the old cheat was generally running, and that's one of the ones that was linked to me during Season 30 and 29 and everything like that. I can't find that particular video anymore, but it was pretty off the charts seeing Quicksilver spin to win for 15 million damage. Well, in between Season 30 and 31, Napalm obviously instituted some kind of gatekeeper that monitored for the damage. And if it just saw ridiculous amounts of damage go out, you got CVE'd and you would take a loss. So essentially, your attack was more than negated. You're going to lose ground on it. So supposedly during Season 31, early on, a lot of the game's audience was like, yay, and throwing parties and like, cheating's fixed, we're not seeing cheaters. Myself and many other hardened and cynical veterans said, no, it's not. And I was constantly getting blowback from this anywhere that I said it. I never go to MAA's Reddit, but I went there a couple times for a few things, and I mentioned that, yeah, cheating's not fixed. And they're like, yes it is, I don't see cheaters. I'm like, guys, no, it's not. You gotta look carefully, but it's still there, and if you haven't seen it on your defense yet, you will. No, they fixed cheating. And then finally some people would say, well, I think there is still some, but it's better. Yes, I would say it got about 85 to 87% better between Season 30 and 31. Kudos to Playdom. I mean, I did that whole plea to Playdom video after 30, begging them to do something about it. And it was a big hit. It had a good amount of audience, and everybody agreed with it. So Season 31 started off pretty good, but as the season wore on, more and more people lost the rose-colored glasses and were like, yeah, I don't think it's fixed 100%. And it definitely is not. So this is a video that I was linked at about 8, 9 o'clock on Season 31's wrap-up day. Somebody who watches my videos, somebody who I have on Facebook, said, hey Tim, here's a new cheat that's in effect right now. You should really see it. I believe somebody in the top 10 is using it, and I have to actually check that to see if that is in fact true. Let me bring that up right now and take a look at last season's top 10 and figure that out. So this cheat is quite insidious, let me tell you. This one is going to be very hard to detect. I think the code behind this one is going to be extremely rough to figure out, other than the fact that they could write code that says, you know, is this person completely immune to this setup? Yes, they're still a falling victim to it. Cheat. And you'll see what I mean in a few moments. So as you can see, all of last season's stuff is gone from the store. So we are now post season 31. And the date on this video being posted is, I think, like July 16th. So it definitely is not an old video. It was one that could have affected last season. So I'm going to go over to the PvP ladder and see if this guy is in fact in the top 10. And when you see this guy in action, you'll know that he really should not be. He really shouldn't. Alright, information, Ladar, top agents. Well, I'm not seeing his name directly, unless he's known by something else, but I was told that he ranked up there. But okay, so here's the video, and I'm going to slow it down to 0.5 speed so that we can talk about this in the beginning. The video says it's in Spanish. I thought it was Portuguese that I was looking at over here, but okay. So he starts off with a golden 49er and the 3 pieces of the psychic set and what I believe is the damage amp. He's got a tactician Pepsi and he's got cloak and dagger. On the other side is cloak and dagger, Kurth, and a bruiser agent. Scrapper Kurth, you see that? She attacked her own team. His team, Cheater's team, has not had any actions yet. And we know Kurth is immune to disoriented because it's a delirium effect. So there is no circumstance in which Kurth would ever, currently in the game as of the end of PvP Season 31, would ever hit her own team, let alone at the beginning of combat before anything else kicked in. That is what this cheat is. So now, Pepsi is going to do old school Pepsi stuff here. And he's going to get his shit pushed in for it. Kurth is going to walk through it. Cloak and Dagger is going to counter it. He takes a big rifle to the face. Cloak and Dagger attacks her own team. Again, there is no chance for Cloak and Dagger to be doing this right now because the Cheater's team only action was a 21 gun salute and a full overcharge. So here we can see the golden 49er. This is the damage amp, and 3 pieces of the psychic set. The Scroll of Runa Maroth like Psych Operator, and the shield, and the metaphysical rifle. He uses the Psych Operator, Kurth dodges it. He puts the shield on himself. And now, watch what happens. Do you see how Cloak and Dagger counters the Bruiser Agent trying to use a Golden 49er? That's because the cheat has made all of his single targets be AoE. That's why Cloak and Dagger's dodging it. That's why Kurth countered it. Back for more kicked in. He didn't even make his own Cloak and Dagger stealthy, which is why the enemy Cloak and Dagger detected it. She just put runes on her own team. She just level 2'd her own team. Now look, he damage amps into the Golden 49er. And it's considered AoE because once again, Cloak and Dagger detected it, countered it, dodged it, and Kurth is now near death. Kurth's own team's debuffs dealt her own Kurth a deadly blow. So watch this in continued action over here. Now this is at half speed. Spitfire, first to act, attacks her own team. Voracious Vixen's herself. Metaphysical Rifle is a counter because he's not even stealthy. Probably because his Cloak and Dagger's not even level 15. Then the enemy agent, Cloak and Daggers, shoots the own Cloak and Dagger. Again, the rifle is considered AoE. So his single target is now AoEing the enemy team. And Cloak and Dagger daggers their own Spitfire. And you'll see a better example of this as the video goes on, that what he's doing as single target is getting considered as AoE. So here, I mean, this is not a lot of damage from Iron Patriot. And the reason is that he's going up against teams at about 28 to 29k, and his own team is 18k. Spitfire attacks Cloak and Dagger. Spitfire will never be disoriented unless her stealthiness is removed. Stealthy means you can't get disoriented. Uses the Psych Operator on their own team. Shoots their own team. And this is why this cheat is so insidious. How do you detect that? The only way that you could detect it would be like, is hero delirium immune? Yes. Did hero hit own team? Yes. Cheat. Is delirium effect out? No. Did hero hit own team? Yes. Cheat. They're going to have to devise some kind of code that can make that detection. Otherwise, this is going to be an extremely tough cheat to find. And I mean, this guy, he has a level 15 Pepsi, but his Cloak and Dagger is not 15. And, you know, this is him at the Adamantium Vibranium border on whatever day he filmed this. This is the 29k Spitfire team. Again, first action combat, attacks, own team. That would be impossible for Spitfire to do. This is the really, really, like, low 21 gun salute, if I remember correctly. Yeah, see, some of those were, like, double digits. That's, like, barely into the triple digits there, and it's not really even clear. Shot herself. The Deb, fortunately for the enemy agent, the Deb stopped that level 2. But look, he's smothering shadows himself. unaffected because he's still protected by the lamp, but now he's not. Here, the enemy agent's clearly running a TOE because he walked right through the psychic operator. So now the enemy agent on the other side's got a chance. Gets a bunch of follow-up. See, the rifle's following up on other people that were not targeted, because the Golden 49er was considered AoE. So the metaphysical rifle was considering all targets as valid follow-ups. Alright, so she heals herself up, and then she attacks her own Spitfire. Deb's the own Spitfire. Now, what might counter this cheater setup is if he's running Scutum, and the melee heavy Spitfire attacks the own agent and heals it with the Scutum, but look, the Golden 49er just AoE'd the team again. Spitfire is trying to wreck its own Cloak and Dagger. Hurt itself off screen, that's what that was Spitfire attacking Spitfire. See, Cloak and Dagger detected it because his fist is being considered AoE. The enemy Cloak and Dagger healed the cheater's team on that one. There's even going to be a light fantastic from the enemy agent that heals the cheater agent's team. As you can see, this is not winning through ridiculous damage. That was an improbability field that went out, I believe. He's winning because the enemy team never gets off the ground. And you can see there, again, the metaphysical rifle tried to follow up on Cloak and Dagger, who was not the target. And she just AoE'd her own team. I mean, this battle is taking a while. And it looks really, really bad. But the cheater agent is in no real threat. Because, look, he just warm Zephyr'd the cheater team. And now he light fantastics the cheater team. This hack redirects everything in a way that makes it super bad. All the bad stuff stays on the enemy team, and all the good stuff comes over to you. Fortunately, some counters like the TOE and the Deb look like they're still working, but you just basically have to wait. And if he was smart enough not to run a tactician to constantly get countered by Cloak and Dagger, he wouldn't have anything to worry about. I mean, there you go. Just absolutely ridiculous. And this is the best way that I can talk about it. Because if I link that video, then, you know, I'm linking you directly to where you can get the cheats and everything. If you want to search for it and cheat, that's on you. And me talking about it's not going to make a difference in that. You would have been able to find it anyway, but I'm not going to perpetuate direct linking to this bullshit. This is just crazy stuff, and I really think Playdom is gonna have their work cut out for themselves to actually detect this thing and institute proper CVEs and everything for it. So there's my video, guys. I hope you like it, or dislike it, really. Just don't thumbs down it. I mean, if you agree that this is shit, give it a thumbs up, and let's talk about it down in the comments below. See you, everybody.